say hit that follow. Next thing, we're flying over cargo. Swipe up, then we lift off. Both feet leaving this floor. Highway like the kid drum. You said you're ready for more. Coley UFO, beam me up, lights go whoa. Turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the cosmic drop. Coley UFO, we never gonna stop. Beam me up, you up there all night. Coley shining extra bright. Top 10 hit, we're trending worldwide. Coley UFO, take me for a ride. Beam me up. Hands up in the main room, neon dust on my white shoes. You spin me like a typhoon. Lost track, but I'm locked on you. Baseline in my cage, oh yeah. Time warp when you say my name. You smile, then we time lapse. Two hearts in a hyperdrive lane. Coley UFO, beam me up, lights go whoa. Turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the cosmic drop. Coley UFO, we never gonna stop. Beam me up, all night. Coley, shining extra bright. Top 10 hit, we're trending worldwide. Coley UFO, take me for a ride. Spin me around the moon, low gravity. Every little move, new galaxy. Closer, you're my supernova. Countdown, 3, 2, I disappear with you. Disappear with you. Coley UFO, beam me up, lights go whoa. Turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the hype and drive. Coley UFO, we're never gonna stop. Beam me up.
Bigfoot, Michigan, raw. Bigfoot, Michigan, raw. Yeah, set sail, clock the beat. From Michigan waters where the mysteries call. BMR roll strong, answering the hall. Heard that raw echo, midsummer light so bright. Turn raw, experience the fuel for the fight. YouTube channel live, thousands riding the wave. Armor roll crew, knowledge we crave. Author of truth, true cryptid encounter series. I'm witness tales, no room for theories. Show with the fire, experience the bold. Bigfoot, Michigan, raw, stories unfold. Pirate ship rolling, crew standing tall. Sailing through shadows, answering the call. Of the unknown sin. Who's leading the pirate raid? Bigfoot, Michigan, raw. BMR. Who's shouting dog, feel the pirate fire. Join the voyage, raise it higher. Bigfoot, Michigan, raw. Bristol, stand clear. Bigfoot, Michigan, raw. Shout it out loud. Born just a real in the mix. Email pouring, witnesses fixed. Cryptids and strangeness. Lights in the sky, high strangeness. Realms, giants stand by. Course keep steady. Guests bring the spark. Community growing. Strong in the dark. Therapy through truth. Breaking chains wide from lake shore to global tide. Pirate flag flying, adventure unbound. Bigfoot, Michigan, rock, king of the sound. Rhythm hits hard, no fear of the yike. Crew on the deck, ready for flight. Who's captain of the unknown sea? Who's leading the pirate raid? Bigfoot, Michigan, raw. BMR. Who shot it loud? Feel the pirate fire. Join the voyage, raise it higher.
everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I'm Coley, also known as Coley UFO, and tonight we have BMR. We're doing another, well, I guess it's not tonight. I'm used to doing shows at night, but yeah, it's another Unhinged. Yes. So your song is catchy. It's like
I like
BMR. Yeah.
So much. That's awesome. BMR.
Yeah, if you guys aren't chanting along, I don't know what to tell you at this point. But yeah, the chat is popping. I definitely want to go through and say everybody before we get to our awesome guest today, who's had his coffee, so he should be good to go.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, you want to start from the bottom or the top?
I'll start from the bottom.
All right.
Kurt W75.
Hey, Kurt.
Wendell Bigfoot 911. GC. Gary Carpenter likes to be called GC.
He has a birthday coming up on March 11th.
Well, happy birthday early. We've got Aussie Susan. Aussie Susan. Diane Boss, of course. Susan Long. Hey, Susan over there on Facebook. PNW Rush. Beyond the Box 1967. Mr.
Brenda.
Finch. Heidi Go. Hi, Heidi. Let's see. Gemini Moon from Michigan in the house. Shout out to you, Gem. Hope you're feeling better. I understand you told me I was talking to you the other day. And we've got the lovely Mind Forked. Great channel, Chris. Mind Forked, indeed.
Oh yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I'm kind of running out here. If you're not chatting, I can't see, and there's a lot more in here than that.
Well, I got Don. Nice to see you.
Okay.
Well, Brenda, always nice to see you. And let me see here. Who else did I see? Dennis. The chat is really popping off, so this is awesome.
Yeah. Mickey Richards, I see.
Mickey. That's awesome. She made some homemade soup yesterday. Kurt W75. I know he said hi to you, but I wanted to say hello anyway. Yeah, and then I've got okay. So yeah, we're coming up here. So if we missed you, it's Rob's fault. And if Wojo's in the house, nice to see you, Wojo. And then I got Gary. I know there's a ton of people. Andrew, welcome. And if you guys have not already, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on my channel, go over to Bigfoot Michigan Rob's channel and make sure you subscribe to him. And then it looks like we got Gemini. Oh, we got Susan. Oh, nice to see you.
Wendell Bigfoot 911. No, I
saw
forgot you. Susan Phoenix. Hi, Susan Phoenix. Yeah.
Jason Finch, nice to see Roger Blair. Welcome. Yeah, there's a ton of people. Rob, you need to get those glasses. I tell you.
No, I tell you, I did okay.
Yeah, you for not being able to see. You sure to see.
Absolutely not.
Hi, Heidi. Yes, welcome.
I'm laser focused today.
Laser focus, he says. So yeah, it looks like Diane. So if we missed anybody, it's like I said, Dennis. It's Rob's fault. We'll just blame him and go from there. But yeah, welcome everybody. And I'm gonna hand it over to Rob because I'm gonna keep dropping the link, and then we're gonna bring out Miles Johnston. If you don't know Miles, you guys are in for a huge treat. So definitely take it away, Rob.
Yeah, well, take it away. Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining the collab. PNW Rush, thank you for that Super Cat. The Super Cat is open, a great way to help support what we all do. Now, of course, we're broadcasting on 2 channels, mine and Coley's. So
we're on 8 channels right now.
Well, 2 YouTubes, and we are all across the United States and North America and across the world. Thanks to all of you for coming on in. We're on every platform on these collaborations, which we did start, last month, maybe. This is about our 2nd month already. They're kind of flying by. We've never done a Sunday together. Typically,
Sunday fun day. Rob says as long as the sports, the football's not on, he can do
Coley, as long as it's Sunday and it's not September, it's not football season, I'm free on Sundays. Yes, because that is my Sabbath, the NFL. I'm sorry to say that. Yes.
We know. Benno is in the house. We know, Rob. We know how it is.
I know you know.
So I'm going to, again, mute myself and keep doing what I'm doing, and you can go ahead and introduce Miles because I'm sure he's dying to get on here.
Yes, absolutely, I will. I take care of the rest of the drops and bring up Miles.
Want him up now?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't.
All right, why not? Hi, Miles, and welcome.
Miles, and you can take Hey.
Do you like my sign? Did you get the joke? Petite. Big size. You get that?
We get it. We thought, we got it, Miles. That's great. Miles, you're fabulous.
Yeah, I was sitting backstage
Hold
with
on.
Miles for
Johnny
40 minutes.
Enoch, would you just get off the phone? We're on air here now.
Is he still on there? Tell him he can say hello to everybody.
Like, he speaks English. Nobody understands what the English says, okay? Okay, well, listen, I'm the same to you, Johnny, okay? If that's the way you're going to behave, listen, I never want to speak to you ever again.
There you go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Enoch has left the building.
Yeah, it's a good thing you had him on the phone because I was trapping him down on the, yeah. And then we've got an interdimensional spinner.
Flying away. To see, there it is. There's Johnny Enoch out of the picture. I don't know who I am, which is why I'm still wearing this.
Yes, and I snapped a picture of that.
It's from Europe, a huge space industry thing. And, you know, I asked this hot chick, right, this blonde, right?
Yeah.
Dreadful using that kind of language. It's just so demeaning.
But it's so
Her name's called Danny Henderson. Anybody heard of that woman? I don't know. Anyway,
I have not.
Coley,
He said one, but we're all the same. You've seen one. What did you say? One ditzy, or how do you refer to it?
Ladies and gentlemen, for those watching in black and white, I was on air with another show. Okay, and I thought that this dizzy blonde.
Oh, dizzy, yes.
Dizzy blonde was her. You see the woman there underneath the truth thing. So I thought I was on the right show. I was double booked.
Oh yeah.
With two of us, Miles. You didn't tell me that.
I let the other person who had some very important things to say, very touching and very informative and very important things. What's called a bounce back, i.e., she had a. I'm talking here, Coley. Do you know this guy, Mr. Birmingham? Do you know who this other woman is? Anyway,
we're all the same.
On two shows. Imagine wearing the same shirt on two shows. God, is so debased. So here I am on this one. So it's really good to see you guys.
Great to see you.
By the way, we were talking to Johnny Enoch, and I was only pretending to say abusive things to him because he never says abusive things to me. It just doesn't happen.
No, my gosh, absolutely not. And not his manager either.
The only way to hear Johnny Enoch's back catalogue is you have to get a thing called a record player, and you have to get one of those old style record players where you can switch it from 33 1/3 to 45, and then nobody knows what I'm talking about. And then you have to switch, which switches it to 78, right? You get these max acetate wax acetate discs. You put them on and you can hear Johnny's best songs from 1935. They're fantastic. Only a singer from the 1930s would be called Johnny Enoch, for crying out loud. Bad Johnny Enoch joke.
Oh, we should start him. I said we need to do a roast. We'll start with Johnny since he's not here. He's got more excuses.
Are we going serious now, or are we just going to have a nice time?
Well, we just thought we were here to party, but Rob's gonna handle this part. I keep it like pulling me in, because I see Smile.
We're always bringing the guy to sort these radio TV.
Oh shoot, she's better than I.
I think your hair's great.
Thank you.
No, not your hair.
I know.
God. We've only had 2 cups of coffee today.
Yes. Well, I do know this about you, Miles. I met you. I've talked to you about 40 minutes backstage. And the one thing that I do know most about you is you love your coffee. Yes, you do. And for those maybe that don't know who you are, and I don't understand why they wouldn't, who are you? Well,
I'm come from Northern Ireland, which means we know where you live.
Right.
And I also had different colored hair, and always into UFOs. And I think I was put in the program very young, because with the sort of things which have happened, it must be in some kind of program. But you can't change channel when you're in this kind of thing, you know. So it's cool.
Can't be done.
So the point is that. Way back in the days of black and white television, I was on TV when I was at school. So to be on television in your fifth grade, I don't know, we call it fifth form, with your school, you wore uniforms at school with a tie and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it was on the TV, and we were doing UFO things in Northern Ireland. And that's sort of playing things out right now because, okay, I've made a bit of a joke about the space thing, but the biggest exhibitor at that was from Northern Ireland because we build ships, we build aircraft. Boeing have bought, oh God, we've a missile division aircraft company called Short Brothers, and so this has really cranked it up. So Northern Ireland is really cutting edge in the space program here in Britain. Cutting edge. I'm actually being serious. So, and then we did pirate radio, and there's a hell of a lot of good stuff about pirate radio. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
Big. When you need to get a spanner to secure the bolts of a plug to hold the cable together, that's sucking diesel, right?
Yes.
And we use that expression in Northern Ireland when you've got the hammer down and you're sucking diesel. You got to be careful you don't have a lisp when you say that. Coley. So nothing. You don't want to get yourself taken off. So the point about that is we did some very incredible things, including crack the Matrix way back in 1987, 88. Because we put on a 1.2 megawatt FM pirate and we called it KISS FM, KISS FM. Yes. And I've got it up here somewhere, one of the stickers. And in fact, why don't I just get them?
Yes, get it.
See? 1.2 million watts. KISS FM 103.7.
Yeah, you know what? I know that
station.
I know that station.
So that was good fun putting that on the air. But unfortunately, at the time, I was working for the BBC, otherwise known as the Broken Biscuit Company.
Okay.
Some people might use those three initials for something else. Be careful. And they felt that even though I'd been working for them for 5 years, running a pirate station out of my bedroom in the middle of Belfast, and while we were broadcasting all over Belfast now, we're on the air, right? So in order to prove that I had nothing to do with this pirate radio station broadcasting in centre of Belfast on FM 95.8, I was forced to go down to the BBC and go to the BBC club and sit down and drink Guinness all night. Thereby, I was on the BBC club.
That's absolute torture.
To do with this pirate radio station. What are you people on? And because I spent a year in Toronto. That's Toronto. That's a T and about A and 5 N's.
Yes.
And coincidentally, when I was in Toronto, James Casport was there as well. And do anybody know who that guy is? So that's his book. Get it now. I've got a couple of copies, and Bob Osborne's it, and there it is. He's gone into producing music. You get that from Rebel Not Taken website by Bob Osborne, and there's a whack of stuff about that. So, point is that James is now out, and he was enjoying Her Majesty's pleasure for a while. But the point about all that is that why would I be in Toronto at the same time that James is in Toronto? And the point about that is I learned how to speak an American accent. So when I went on air, Canadian accent. So when I went on air in Belfast, nobody would know it was me because I was speaking with an American accent. So everybody at the BBC, no, that's not Miles. That's an American DJ. And anyway, he's been drinking in the BBC club, so there's no way he's got anything to do with this pirate radio station for 5 years. So when I put this on the air, you can just see the frequency, 103.7. Yes. there's no way that they would ever, and since this was in the Irish Republic and I was running 1.2 megawatts from a tower near a place, a portal, an interdimensional portal called St. Patrick's Chair and Well, and that's where the Fae, the She, and other little beings happen to come into our dimension. That's a big deal. So they fired me. They fired me.
Oh,
And then they came down to film me standing at the pirate station, which I'd built. And all of my colleagues that I'd worked with for 5 years were taking this very seriously. In other words, they were creasing themselves laughing as they filmed me about it. And that's on the internet when I've got hair. And that was good fun. So then we started a little upstart of a TV station called Sky Television. Some guy walking down the street who was trying to sell newspapers said, look, Miles, look, we want to put this TV station on the air. I tell him, yeah, well, I'll tell you how to do it. He had some other ideas, a bit of extra money and things, and we put on a thing called Sky News. And that was great. Fantastic. Great people to work at Sky. Putting a whole new thing on it was great. So that's what I've done professionally. So right now we run the Bases Project.
yes.
And what happened was in 1994, I've done a whole video on all this stuff for the Irish era of pirate radio. So I was shooting, interviewing people and things all about this since 1989. That's a long time. No, 79. 25 years of pirate radio was fun. Great fun. Radio Caroline, a ship. You know, in order to play a record in Great Britain, you had to get a ship, put it in the Irish Sea and run 50 kilowatts. That's how bad the censorship and the control of this country is. All right. So I think I've lost myself there. So we ran these. The point about it is that every time the radio stations were raided, the government always lost. They were always out of power, out of government within 6 months. And the radio stations got stronger and stronger and stronger. And until eventually we had Sky TV, multi-channel television, a complete choice of viewing and media. That's a big deal.
Okay.
And the woman who took Radio Caroline off the air was a woman called Mrs. Thatcher. And she made a mistake. She raided Radio Caroline in the high seas, got the Dutch to do it because the British wouldn't touch it. And she lost power within months. So that's there's a protection, something protecting these radio stations. And this was the pioneering multi-channel requirement to be able to have multiple channels of people having conversations and doing what we're doing now, because we those pirates in the 1970s and 80s and 90s. And then we came back on the air. They took them all off the air December 1988. And then we came back on the air with a pirate station called Energy 106. And the guy who we put this on the air with, he gets abducted. So there's a connection, always a connection with pirate radio and ETs who want people to find out what the effing heck is going on, which is what this show's all about.
So was that really why you started the Bases Project, if I'm drawing correct correlatives?
Well, the bottom line is that at the end of the war, in Europe, the British were looking for something, and they found it. They found a lab, and this guy's father did it way back 1944, going into 45, and they found a lab where the Germans were making strange-looking humans. Okay?
Yes.
So didn't call them aliens.
Right.
So, and they had a strange looking aircraft. Didn't call it a spaceship. So this is when the Brits brought this technology back to Berkshire and Wiltshire, where we are now, and they started making these strange-looking beings. They called them programmed generated life forms. So the bottom line is, and this is there's a couple of iterations of this mug, but this is the point about this logo is it's to stop transhumanization. Okay,
which of course is going on.
which is what's going on now. So the Germans were reanimating dead soldiers.
Oh, boy.
And now we know, and there's a lot of information that's been dumped on YouTube. It's I think it's on Das Datcher YouTube channel, English edition. And one of the things we did at this conference, disclosure conference here, just about 6 weeks ago, it was in December, middle of December. We had some brilliant guys there. We had Drago Reed, we had Beverly Rhodes, we had Dr. Amir Tahajiri, who is a healthy mix of an Irish and Iranian mix. Those are two seed races, very important. Occasionally I can be very serious, but we had some very good other people. I don't want to list the whole thing, but we had Brad Olson, and this is the first time he gave this lecture about how the Germans were able to get under the ice in Antarctica. They had the maps and the depth maps. You can have the maps to go, but you've got to know when you got to take a submarine down and when you got to take a submarine up. And they found a way in under the ice between the two primary land masses of Antarctica because they had the maps before Antarctica froze, which means Antarctica only froze not too long ago, maybe 10 or 12,000 years ago, right? So they had the original maps that they were able to find a way there. Now, the Germans also were monitoring the whaling fleet that the Norwegians had because they took over Queen Maud Land, which was Norwegian territory in the Antarctic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the point about it was that the Norwegian whaling fleet knew where the warm water was coming from, where the plankton would be there, where the whales would then feed. Okay? So there's warm water coming up from between the two land masses of Antarctica, and that meant there was a way in. So they then basically established New Berlin, and Brad Olson delivered that presentation at Bases 2025, and that's available on basestv.com.
Okay.
Now, our website's been hacked. A lot of websites are being hacked now, and the reason for that is the Epstein files, which equates human trafficking, even ordinary members of the public, and interested people who can add one and one and make two. They're working out that that Epstein human trafficking, what species eats their own? Okay? So whatever's eating the kids and whatever's eating the humans must be alien. So there are people now working out Epstein equals aliens, which is why they've subtly dumped all these alien files on us because they've been caught with their trousers down. Ooh, that's a bit of a thing to sort of swing in there. Too many double entendres there.
Ooh, yeah.
The point is, they now can see that a lot of people are going to connect aliens, human trafficking, and the global elite that's going on right now, which is why they have to have this war to get us into full digital total control, lockdown into metaspace, because that's the agenda for 2045. No organic life here. You're all going to be in a computer matrix like Tron.
You know, I'm 1,000% on which what you say. I believe for a very long time. I've talked about this several years ago, But what I love about this, really briefly, if you go back to these underground bases, when we're talking about, we all heard about the super soldiers, and that started back in 1943 or even prior, right? So when they talk about these created humans, the super soldiers, so that really was going on during the World War II, was it, or prior to
Well,
that?
you see, this goes back.
Further than that.
This even goes back to the American Civil War.
Okay.
This all goes back to Elizabeth I and Francis Bacon in 007.
Okay.
Ultimately, and the Fabian agenda. And there's a guy called Bob Osborne, because the Germans were in Cornwall before the war. This goes back into the origins of why we had World War One, and it also goes back into the era of Tartarian science.
And the Tartarians,
Right.
it's a planet, or is that a species of alien, correct? I'm not as
No,
versed as Coley.
what's happened is somebody arrived. One of the first people I interviewed. So basically, just to round this point off, we started making aliens under license with aliens in labs in Berkshire and Wiltshire in England. Okay.
Yes.
So, with all due respect, I knew Nick Pope, God bless him, a decent guy doing his job, a really decent bloke, Nick Pope. He announced, and this is where you've got to read what they tell you. You've got to be very careful. The British Home Office said UFOs are of no defense significance. They're not lying to you, but you assume, UFOs are relevant, No, they're of no defense significance because we're embedded with the aliens. We have them in our bases. We're 100% hand in hand. Right? Now, when I went to shortly after Barry King explained that with another woman called Lisa McKenna Williams, and I called that basis 1. They were explaining about how these program-generated life forms were being made, and how they operated, and he was a security guard. And this is in the Berkshire base. They're all connected underneath.
And Lisa was involved in the same facility, right?
No, the point about Lisa is she was an independent genius. She was in Mensa.
Okay.
And she was having a relationship with an American. This is when you'd always get an American military somebody inside here somewhere. Okay. So her first son was fine. And then he would always talk about the airplane men that would come and check him up. So, for instance, the mother would go back into the room and into the bedroom, and the airplane men had arrived, and they'd just been very careful with the child and tidied things up, and they were just checking in. Ultimately, her son, and then she had a second child, ended up going into the secret space program because he was very good at complex algorithms and encoding systems. And this was one of the things they were programming into the crop circles. Remember, the crop circles are made by men, by people, by teams, but even they don't know where to get the ideas from for the designs. And when they make them, they were having really weird experiences. My colleague Matthew Williams was there when they're making these circles or formations. They would have time slips, dimensional slips. It would be pouring with rain all around them. But where they were making the circle, it was perfect, or whatever the formation was. Now, the key to this was, and Maria Wheatley is a very good friend of mine. She steals my chips every Friday. And they're not chips, they're chips. None of those.
That's a great friend.
We're not talking crisps here. We call them crisps. Yeah. We're talking chips that you have with fish.
Crisps.
Fish chips.
French fries?
Not French bloody fries. We've got to maintain our British culture here.
Of course you do.
Hello, fish and chips, mate. Her boyfriend was one of the key designers to the crop circles. and what this whole thing with the crop circles has been. We're in crop circle country here right now. Right now, we're in crop circle country. Exciting episode number 352, just round the corner. Stonehenge, which was built by long-skulled people, a completely different race. The point is that what they were looking for were people who could spot certain designs. And one of the people we had at Bases 2025 was a brilliant lady from Norway, and she is a brilliant woman involving don't spill the coffee over the keyboard.
No, don't. Please not.
Oh my God, Miles.
Don't do that. I told you, Colleen, don't do that. She did it, folks. She did it anyway. So where were we? The point about it is that she noticed there's a wonderful crop circle exhibition center here in the middle of Wiltshire. Really, and there's a great pub beside it called the Barge Inn, and there's going to be a fantastic summer sing-song shindig there. I think in August they're going to have a wonderful time. There's a crop circle exhibition center, and when she went up into the exhibition center, she could spot some very, very intricate designs in these crop circles. Remember, they're made by people, and they want to find out who sees certain patterns. She saw the patterns. She spoke about it at Basis in 2025 disclosure, and they're about fifth dimensional intersecting codes and algorithms.
You said that we created the crop circles?
Yeah, we're making them. We made them. That's the point. But they were given designs.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
They were given designs from U.S. Air Force intelligence, and they were given designs from other sources.
Yes, okay. Wow.
But the point about it is, if you're given a design, you've got to put the thing down on the crop right. Don't mess with it. I told you, darling, not to pour that coffee into your laptop. She just went ahead and did it.
Oh, that was bad the other day too, Miles. I lifted it up and I was like, man.
Guys, you don't understand. We've just had a very important conference call with some Brits here and Johnny Enoch. And we had a very serious international discussion off air. And I actually feel my colleagues are doing exactly the right thing. And let's just bomb them, bomb them. Yeah.
That was so funny because I had a little beef with Johnny. I was like, you guys, we've been missing each other on the phone call. So that was hilarious.
Listen, folks, this conversation's on my phone. Just because I was holding the phone right beside the microphone and Johnny and tried to get a slot on her show, your show. These things are so embarrassing.
I like the fact that you had different shirts. So how did you pull off the two shirts at the same time?
Listen, I'm on air next door. You see, when you're on air, you mustn't have costume clash. For Christ's
No,
sake.
you cannot. I agree with you.
Don't do this.
Don't do it.
We had a wonderful woman here called Caroline Stevens who was fantastic, and we had this campaign about Britain leaving the EU, which is a special operation of the close of World War II, which never ended, and we lost World War II.
That's true.
Yeah.
And she arrived here, and we were interviewing people in the studio, and she came here with 5 different dresses. She'd walk out, I'd be preparing a cup of tea, and then she'd walk back in with a new dress. That's the way to do it. That's called being professional. But for me to wear this shirt on 2 shows.
Well, no, that's why on this channel, on Coley's channel, I'm in black, and on my channel, I'm in red. Go figure how I pulled that off. I don't know.
I'm calling BS on this.
I don't know I have no idea what you're on.
No.
Right?
Coffee.
We're American. This is what we do.
Yes, what we do.
We're funny. We're funny here.
This country
Great
we
sense
use
of humor.
right? For these people to understand what temperature it was, I had to switch the temperature to Fahrenheit. We gave that thing up in the 60s here, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
That's why Canada is in the state it's in. They do things in centigrade. You know, you Americans just got to just switch to centigrade, and all your problems are over.
I'm all about it, but I mean, it's the conversion is crazy. So we asked Miles. We had to rely on Miles to go and switch it to Fahrenheit to tell us what it was.
Now, the point about this is, I think astute observers would know what this design is. It's I don't know who came up with this particular graphic. I don't know where the data came from.
I can't tell. Triangular,
but it's useful having on a mug. Okay, this is TR3s, the whole up to 8s or whatever the hell they are, right?
Yeah.
Now the point about this is, I was going to put that on a T-shirt for Bases 2025 here, International Disclosure Conference, right? Get the T-shirt now.
I want
the T-shirt company was phoned up on the Tuesday before the conference started on the Friday. And they were told, no.
Oh, man, come on.
They did not want this on a T-shirt.
That's some BS.
So why would they not want this on a T-shirt? You've always got to ask why and who benefits. In other words, this must be sufficiently sensitive that they do not want people walking around wearing a T-shirt with that stuff on it. And bearing in mind that this SpaceCom was great fun being there. Great fun. I was there with Julie Phelps about 3 years ago. Julie Phelps, who you don't know, is British. She's from Fleetwood or up in Lancashire, and she married a guy and was living in Toronto, in Canada, with this. Now, she was in the RAF. She was one of the few. She was RAF engine specialist. In other words, she fixed chipmunks. Now, a chipmunk is a training airplane with the simplest technology you can imagine. And at this conference, it's not a conference, it's a SpaceCom. It's a big professional exhibit. You're able to mix with all these guys. So we had the Air Commodore, the RAF Space Command Air Commodore, walking about with his handler. In other words, some get to say you can't say that, whatever it is. So, you know, with these sort of shows, you know, you just walk up and talk to people, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So we walked up and talked to people, and she talked to, she was walking around with her RAF badge, a big one. By the way, the RAF have bigger badges on their uniforms than you goddamn Yanks. Okay? You Yanks just don't put big enough badges on your uniform. But the RAF, and of course, they're much higher quality, you know. Okay,
I'll give you that, absolutely.
Service rivalry bullshit for you. But the point is, she was talking to him in code. Now, it turns out that Julie, now she said she was on the RAF base on Mars. Said it was very boring post to be on the RAF base on Mars. And then later on, she sort of said, well, it wasn't really the RAF base on Mars. It was the reptilian dinoid raptor base on Mars, or whatever. You know, or whatever. You know, she's been on Mars. She's RAF. She's been there. Oh, well, forget about all that. It's, you know. So there's a whole pile of little bells being ticked here. So she mentioned about it being engine technology stuff, and mentioned chipmunks and the chipmunk aeroplane thing. But it's what she was actually working on were pulsed plasma engines.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so they would go boom, 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 and your way you go, right? So that's the kind of technology that we're using. And but the point is, she had to go on the run. She had to leave Canada because her husband was ritually slaughtered, and she ended up coming back here, and now she's living in a particular place in Wales, which is not Wales, England. It's Wales. It's a separate country, for Christ's sake. And she's chosen where to move to by analyzing soil samples to make sure there are no seashells in the in the depth of the soil. A little hint there. Things change a little bit. Planets' surfaces rotate and things get a bit wet. So she's chosen a place to live in Wales, which is a mountainous area. Don't talk about the sheep. And I told you not to talk about Shaun the sheep. Anybody who knows about Shaun the sheep with the black legs.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about BBT transmitter engineers either. Lonely up in those mountains with those nice sheep walking about. I didn't say that and you didn't hear me.
I did not hear you.
That's a joke.
Not a word. Not a
I know
word.
it's not a word.
Yeah. We're funny here. We know when you're joking.
Us Yanks can pick up on it. We just play dumb sometimes.
Yeah. That's why BBC transmitter engineers have got slightly wider boots, standard issue. We don't need to go any further with that. So the point is, where is the point here? Have I lost too many people on this? The point is that one of the other things that we've done at the Basis Project is we've interviewed a guy called Syed Noah.
Okay.
Now his wife, he's Egyptian, and he was former head of documentation of artifacts in Egypt. And we had him on a few times. And the point is that the three mountains at Luxor have got two big mountains and a smaller one. The pyramids at Giza are copies of those three mountains. And the whole architecture and artwork over 1,000 years includes a numerical shifting of the Earth's crust, because
I heard that
the sun would rise on this side of the three mountains, and then the sun disk traveled across the mountains and it started to rise on a different part of the mountains. That's the only reference you'll get that the Earth's crust has shifted. And that's when Antarctica slid down to freeze. And that's what's in the Peri Rhesus maps and all those other maps. And right now, in this exciting episode, we're heading for a similar situation. Okay? 12,500 years on average, things go belly up. And we're in that time now.
It is cyclical.
So that's one of the other people we have at the Basis thing. But the main thing is that when Barry King talked about these program-generated life forms way back in 1984, we had a completely independent notification of that from somebody else who had high clearance to the nuclear energy industry. And she was able to tell me that, oh yes, we made these generated life forms for use on the lunar base. Ka-ching, all these things are coming down and locking in. So the British, in behind all this, is bases on the moon. And then we were talking to another lady who, one of the base's witnesses, who took 30 years to come forward and confirm James Casbolt's thing about children and other terrible things that happen.
Oh, yeah.
In Reading, lots of bases there, was the human trafficking side of things and hospitals.
So the tunnels underneath the ground, do you think that's what they're used for there? Okay.
Yeah. Now, she was born on one of the South African baby farms. And Beverly Rhodes comes along all these years later, and she says, "Yes, I know where those baby farms are in southern Africa." So this is another link. It might take 20 years before you get two things to match up,
Yep.
but that's what I've been doing since '94. The other thing is that when I came back from the International UFO Congress, which is run by Bob Brown, the best team there, Bob Brown and Wendell Stevens, that conference ran for I think 25 years.
I thought that what's his name was involved in that too. Rojo. What's his name? A female. But yeah, no, that's
Well, the modern it was originally started by Wendell Stevens and
okay.
Bob Brown, and that was way back in '93, I think, possibly '92. And then I was at the one in '94, and I recorded Bill Uhouse. That was wonderful. Another guy. So, but what
I was a
very
gate kid, so I understand Miles. I was a gate kid, so I get it.
all right. So when I flew back to Northern Ireland, I was visited by somebody who'd just been press ganged into Britain's psychic warfare thing, and he knew all about the aliens. Businessman in Belfast. This is a long time ago. He had an extremely high psionic investigative level, to the extent that he was calmly asked, "Could you remote view into this safe in this particular location?" He was able to see what was in the safe. The safe had some documents. He was able to read the contents of what those documents basically meant. So the intelligence officer said, "Yeah, okay. Is there anything else in there?" And he was able to find it. And he was also able to read it. It was classified documents which had a psychic block on it to stop remote viewers accessing it. He was able to access it, get the contents, at which point this says, "Right, you've now been exposed to confidential information. You are now in our psychic warfare division," for want of a better term.
Ooh.
So he was sent to give me lots of cups of coffee, and I've never had that before.
It's safer that way, Miles.
And that's where a lot of people think I'm in some kind of a program, because I was very aggressively interrogated about what happened in Las Vegas. And what did happen in Las Vegas was a British Italian guy called Ray Wardle, who had been going out into the sandy mountain hills outside Las Vegas, getting pictures of moving rocks. He'd got pictures of a rock moving, but it was a camera. He'd found a base, and he did a lot of that stuff. He also got some very good video of craft flying straight into the Red Rock Canyon, and Red Rock is meant to be off-planet rock, apparently. And these craft were flying straight into the side of the cliffs. And I got that on Sky Television, Sky News. So here we had a situation where you had a UFO or a craft flying so fast that on a still frame you got two images. The way a TV picture works is you have one line scanned at 60th of a second, and then you have another set of lines scanning at a 60th of a second. So when you get one object creating two images, you have an exact speed, because at a 60th of a second it will have traveled this far across the picture. That meant these things were flying straight into the rocks or the cliffs at Red Rock at about 6,000 miles an hour. And they weren't going splat.
I wanted to ask you something really quick about these underground bases, because here in the state of Michigan, Lake Superior, and I've heard this, and I've been getting involved with this genre for like maybe 2 years, and I've talked to several people, Miles, that suggest that there are UFO bases underneath Lake Superior at the southern tip, right there, and there's been many accounts in upper Michigan, northern Michigan, over the bridge, where they have seen UFO craft literally come out of the Lake Superior and shoot up into the sky, reverse, and jettison back down into Lake Superior and disappear. That suggests to me, because I know there's 3 underground military bases in my state of Michigan.
Those lakes, do you have any idea how deep those lakes
Yes,
are?
well, it's Lake Superior, 6,500 feet at one point. 6,500.
I think those lakes go down to fundamental crust as opposed to upper crust.
Yeah. Well, too, they were what you're talking about earlier. They were formed back when the glaciers moved. They engorged out the state of Michigan, and they created all the Great Lakes, which was a inland seas at one time, salt water. And back when you're talking about Antarctica, the shifts and these glaciers that helped carve all this. So that's why I'm thinking in my head here is why we have all this activity in our Great Lakes. You think that's plausible?
Also, off the eastern coast of Italy is the deepest parts of the Mediterranean. And remember, the Mediterranean was only recently flooded. And likewise, the Sahara Desert had lakes. And this goes back to that's why you've got Greenland, and obviously you've got a lot of ET stuff at Iceland. And remember, Iceland's the most fastest expanding landmass, I think, on the planet. So and likewise, Loch Ness is accessed from the sea into salt water, which is the origins of the Loch Ness monster stuff, because they would test submarines going into Loch Ness. And when you see a periscope going up, they've called it the Loch Ness monster.
Okay.
And there's ET bases there, and that's where who's the guy? Aleister Crowley and the band, is it Led Zeppelin?
Yes. Well, Jimmy Page was a fan of Aleister Crowley. In fact, he bought his mansion, this, that, and the other, and they're supposed.
But one of the key reasons why that was bought was because it never sees direct sunlight.
It's very interesting. That I did not know.
And I went there. I was dating an American lady, very nice, from Palm Springs.
Ooh.
She actually went out with John Lear, when she was a teenager.
Oh, that was some competition.
Anyway, that's a bit of history there. So we went to this pub. It was at the very entrance to Loch Ness, where the canal, there's a thing called the Caledonian Canal. And right at the start of that, we just went to have a beer in a pub, which is a good place to have a beer. And that had ETs come into it. There was a missing time of about 10 minutes. So this is all over the place. As with the hospitals, one of the team that worked with James Casbolt and another guy, very switched on guy called Duncan Davis. So you have James Casbolt, Duncan Davis, and another guy called Sohail. And this is where the schools in Reading are involved with the child program. Basically in the British Isles, including Ireland, when you're born, they have a thing called the heel prick test. So as the baby is still connected to the placenta of the mother, they do a heel prick test, and they get the sample of the mother's blood and the baby's. And that goes into your files.
Oh.
And from that moment on, they're tracking you. So later on, at school or whatever, you have school outings, and the kids are taken out to see some nice place, a forest or tourist or something like that. And the kids are taken out, school trip. And some of them go past a military base, and they are taken into the military base. They go through certain procedures. They're put back on the bus. They then go to wherever the destination is meant to be. There are photographs taken, or people remember that they're at this place. They go home, and nobody remembers anything. And then the mothers will get a letter of some kind saying that we're interested in your child, and they get them to sign off a contract. They get paid, and the kids go into the program, and not all of them survive. And that's where these kids are recruited. So
what you're saying makes a lot of sense. What are they looking for? Like, what are they looking for with mother and, like, let's say child? Like a difference in blood types, or what are they exactly looking for?
DNA is always in the mother, right? Now, there's certain. I mean, for instance, one of the people I interviewed, a wonderful woman called Kathy Morgan. She was a twin, and her relationship goes back to William of Orange in the Battle of the Boyne in Ireland. Now, the key thing about the Battle of the Boyne, the French Revolution and the American Revolution, is they date back to the arrival of a bunch of ETs known as the Veilon. Now, this is sort of mentioned in the sci-fi film, the sci-fi series Babylon 5. They mention the Veilon. Now, the Veilon is a binary system, and this guy called Chris Thomas was able to access the Akashic and get all this information. And likewise, he got bumped off. He was actually, they did an attempted assassination on him in Wales, and he did survive. Anyway, he published some very important books about this binary star system, the Veilon system, and the wandering planet between that binary system is Nibiru, right? It's the wandering planet between the twin suns of the Veilon solar system. Zachariah Sitchin is an asset of the Vatican, and he built that into his books. Like a lot of these things, had a lot of truth in there, and he then took that wandering planet and said it was happening to Earth, to our solar system. That's rubbish, right? The point is that energetically speaking, from a 3D point of view and from an energy level point of view of matter, the Veilon races matched our planet's energy field, so they were interested in basically fully establishing and taking this place over. They decided not to do that. There were two races, and parts of those races decided to stay, about 250,000 of them. And they are the core, they are the Anunnaki, and they are the Hathor. And the Hathor split into basically two native races from Velos. One was the Tibetan Dalai Lama set. They didn't leave, they just stayed there and mind their own business. So the Dalai Lama is ET, Hathor, and if you look at the social structure of the Tibetan monks, you have a very small controlling class, and everybody is absolute irrelevant slaves, effectively, which is what they're trying to do now, make a few of us still around and wipe out the rest, and the rest are slaves. The other lot were the sort of Anunnaki, according to Chris Thomas. They then did soul swapping operations where they took over the elite, all the relevant high controlling families, and they would go into a room one day, one night, whatever it is, there'd be a ritual, human soul taken out, Velos soul put in, and then they would continue to run the country or the world. And that is what Lucy Wyatt, she's a mathematician, very brilliant lady, and she's published a lot of work on the Venetian doom cult. Now, where did Bezos take control of? What did he do recently and get married in? Venice. They took full control of Venice. The local people couldn't get in, and he had a marriage, a ritual with his wife thing. That tells you what side of the coin Bezos and people like that come from. Now, the Venetians were thrown out of the Vatican. So the Vatican, that should tell you how bad things go. And they infused themselves into all the relevant controlling families, which is why we're having this ET war right now. Are we equating things here?
I'm picking some things up. I wanted to ask you this. So I would suggest listening to all this and what you've been talking about, and trust me, it's not the process, but I get it. And I'm asking this: do us as human beings, do we have DNA of alien in us? Are we aliens from the future? At one point?
We are relatively recent arrivals,
Okay.
and they used these what we would call Sasquatch and abominable body
Yeah.
thing. And they live for thousands of years plus,
Yeah.
and we have got a lot to learn from those beings. And that's why some of the researchers into critters and that kind of thing, I think you call them critters or whatever, the Sasquatch, these beings have got a lot to tell us. I don't know what do you call
No,
it?
I think they cryptids.
Cryptids, right,
Yeah.
right. Not critters in the movie.
If you're
Close
from
enough.
If you're from the South, they
Oh,
call
Johnny
it.
Enoch's coming back. He's coming back. He's Here's the United States Air Force when you need it. Oh, get me out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
So, Miles, what do you know about blood types? I don't think that it's necessarily like I don't have a compatible blood type with my mother, but that's something that was very much focused on the AB negative blood type. Can you tell me why?
I don't know anything about blood types, so I can't tell you anything about blood types. But it's very it's for instance in Northern Ireland. The blood type there's a large concentration of blood group B, and this is why they don't want anybody to know the blood group now. In Britain and I think the Republic, you ask what your blood group is, they won't tell you. But B, blood group B, the way that they corral countries and regions off is because they want to actually test this lot and this lot. This is one of the things that Kathy Morgan found out in Wiltshire here. Whole villages would simply move on one night and another lot go in. So they would bring them in, and whatever would happen, and then they'd move them. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic. And that kind of thing. My mic doesn't have a fancy light that she has. I want a light like her.
It's so I know not to hit it, Miles, so as I can see where it's at.
She does have a fancy mic.
It's for the luminous glow.
So I am so humbled. So where were we? We're talking serious stuff here.
Yeah, no,
so Northern Ireland is a very convenient place because it's geographically easy to isolate. So you got mountains and all that stuff. So they're able to use Northern Ireland as a test bed for all sorts of different social engineering. For instance, I think I'm meant to be talking to somebody else tonight as well. Jeez.
Oh,
another blonde?
Another blonde.
No.
You're third blonde. 3 blondes in 3 days.
On your head. Do you mean? Oh, sorry, you are blonde.
Well, naturally.
I'm talking about social engineering here, for God's sake. Can you just get that dizzy head of yours out of that? Did I say something wrong here?
No, you're just being, hold that coffee cup back up if you ever get there.
Normal service will be resumed in a moment. Right, that's the soundbite. So you see, I'm mimicking old school TV. When the telecine broke, they needed to get something else on while they moved things around. They only need one studio anyway. That's and I wasn't around TV when we did that. So the point is that in Northern Ireland is a convenient area to do a lot of test marketing on social engineered groups. So, for instance, that's where they found that blood group B is an easily programmable race, an easily programmable blood group to get compliant people to obey and not rebel and so forth. So that's where they used a lot of the social engineering of the 1960s. And what they did was they went to the IRA in who were the original Irish Republican Army, which was created when Ireland separated, and all of the key players in that were all German intelligence assets. Lloyd George, De Valera, Michael Collins, and I think some of the key people in Belfast. And remember, the White Star Line made a boat which was sailed out with all the business rivals of the elite, Mr. The banker, nice person, very nice person. He stayed on the ship to make sure it sank and then got off it and says, that's that lot gone. Hold a party with your business rivals and then leave. And then something strange happens and they all disappear. Oldest trick in the book. So they needed some social engineering in the 1960s. And before that, so they needed a different group who were going to do that. So that was the Provisional IRA, and they were run by MI5 and also managed externally by MI6. So, for instance, when Lord Louis Mountbatten, a kiddie fiddler, stepped beyond his remit within the royal family, they got the IRA to blow him up, the Provisional IRA to blow him up. But that was actually a British intelligence job, cleaning up a little bit of a mess. And don't talk about Edward Heath, another German intelligence asset who ran the country and was also involved with this kind of trafficking. And then, of course, the Broken Biscuit Company's use of a popular DJ who was strangely in charge of Top of the Pops and Radio 1. So that's the Broken Biscuit Company and how they socially engineer and manage people. And that's when I discovered that AM radio, and this is Montauk Project stuff as well, AM radio, amplitude modulated radio, is a very good telepathic programmer. And then I think even in some of the books that Preston Nichols wrote, he talked about FM radio and certain mind window frequencies that they used in FM radio. So, for instance, they chose FM band 2, that VHF band 2 was convenient for mind window frequencies, whereas the other VHF band 1 and band 3 were used for television. So, for instance, band 3 was used in the United States, and they used that also for the use of programming people using television. There's all sorts of things about this that came out years ago about certain frequencies would be able to penetrate and control human beings. And of course, that's now much, much more technical with the mobile phone systems. These are cognitive devices, right? What you're doing with these phones, apart from them having blue light in them, these have got a blue light, 2 spectral energy patterns, very high energy spectral energy spikes in the blue light region, which are destroying your retinas.
Oh, of course, that's why I can't see.
They've got a fix for that. That's why they got all these eye comfort things.
Yeah.
OLEDs.
Yeah.
One of the first things they did in the Skylab was find how to grow retinas in space. Now, why would they want to grow retinas in space? Oh, to help blind people.
No, that's not it.
You know, burn your eyes out with those phones. Then what you're doing with those phones is that you are collapsing the quantum wave function into 2D, whereas we are cognitive beings and we collapse the quantum wave function into hyperdimensional aspects.
Well,
so by getting us to be captured in this stuff, we then collapse our reality into this 2D matrix, which is another one of the reasons why they have the flat Earth psyop, to see who's going to fall for it because of their cognitive abilities to only see in certain collapsed.
Is that also true too when you take our phone and put it up to our ear, which I don't do? I haven't done it in many years, but is that the same effect? listening through the phone as well?
Your phone has to ring to do that, Rob.
Okay, well, yeah, mine don't ring.
Well, I even with my old, I think it's Samsung Mark II or 3 phone,
Yeah.
in the London Tube, where they didn't have Wi-Fi in it, I was feeling bad, feeling a bit sick. I'd eaten something, whatever. When I turned the phone back on, the phone knew and was able to tell me where I could get a pharmacy or something. So it already knew what was wrong, even though it switched off. And even with the battery out, which is one of the things about AI, even taking the battery out, we've had very serious computer issues in the last week. Maria Wheatley took some video of we're right beside Avebury here. This wonderful two rings of standing stones, and it's got a copy of that is on Mars. You can see Hoagland's Mars from the 90s, all about Avebury and Cydonia region of Mars, right? So the point about that is she's got a conference coming up. Maria Wheatley, she's written a whole book about the origins of Stonehenge, founded by crack. That's a crack for people, okay? So she's worked out that the people who made Stonehenge were long-skulled people from Siberia. And when the Beaker people arrived here, which were round-headed people with 3 sutures, I don't know if that's the correct. We have 3 cracks in our skull, expansion joints in the skull.
Yes,
these Beaker people only had 2. They were all ritually massacred, and they're buried in long barrows just a few miles away from where this arm, you see this arm here?
Yes.
Pointing to where and because Maria Wheatley discovered these long-skulled people were ritually just killed and mass graves, and there's several other mass graves in Salisbury Plain. Now, the point about Salisbury Plain is it's got live round targeting, heavy arms fire, machine gun fire. It's not a place you want to walk around when the red flag is flying. So she discovered the long barrow, which had the wonderful long-skulled Queen of Avebury buried, and she found the skull, which is in I think it's Oxford University, and she was the first person to actually access that skull since about 1962.
Yeah.
So Maria Wheatley's a brilliant woman doing her own thing, her own leading research, and she discovered all about it. Now she's going to be on stage working at Basin 2026 at the 3rd weekend of June with Sean Bond, and he's going to talk about the long-skulled people of South America.
Well,
and she's going to be talking about the long-skulled people who built Stonehenge and then were wiped out. Now, English Heritage doesn't like that narrative. So what they've now done is they've planted, matted it right along, completely sealed the whole long barrow with wire netting to screen it. There's something they don't even want. What on earth? Some skeletons in a long grave. A long barrow is one of the longest long barrows in England. And they've covered it in wire netting, and they've put extremely fast-growing, really long, thorny bushes on it. So nobody's ever going to be wanting to go anywhere near that. They don't want these secrets out. And the new narrative is that you will not be able to hear an independent voice or even be guided. It's even more than 2 people are walking together and you're having a conversation. English Heritage, or the authorities, shall we say, are fining you if you don't have a license to describe what's going on there. They're licensing people at the ancient.
Wow. Oh, it's
so
getting bad.
More about the long-skulled people and what really built it.
Can I ask you this really quick? It's the same topic. I always wondered this myself when we go back to ancient Egypt. You see a lot of these the mummies or the skulls that are unearthed with these elongated heads of these pharaohs, these queens, these kids. Then, of course, I'm a believer that the pyramids were not built by them. Somebody
No,
else
no,
built
no.
them.
The Egyptians will tell you they didn't build them. No, that's the pyramids are not in Egyptian history.
Yes.
They
I thought
found
that.
them. There's a brilliant woman that you want to go get across. Her name is Antoine Gigal. She's a blonde. Be silent. Be careful.
It's another
She's
blind.
French. She can speak French in Parisian, strongest Parisian accented French in the world. Even when a Parisian French person says calmly, "What day is it? Or what time is it, please?" By the time they finish saying that, you feel as if you just, I'm sorry, you know. Part of the fact they wave their hands around, which could kill you if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. But she knows that she is a brilliant Egyptologist, and she has found huge things underground. And Antoine Gigal and the alignment of these things, she's brilliant in French. She speaks French, you know. She also speaks other languages. English is the worst language. She used to be my girlfriend, and she would swear at me in Gaelic, you know. Sorry, just pass the salt, please, you know.
Yes.
I don't know where that the point is that these pyramids, he was very anxious to point out that we've concentrated only at 3 pyramids in Egypt and only 1 sphinx. There was another sphinx opposite the one across the valley, and there was a whole lots more pyramids. And she's even located pyramids where everything's been taken off the top, and they've managed to discover the steps that go down into the depths underneath those pyramids. But the thing is, it's all full of black water. It's all full of water. Once you go down not too far, it's and you're just dealing with a little narrow staircase. That's how she's a brilliant genius. Antoine Gigal, for anybody who's interested.
I wrote it down.
Can you pronounce it, Rob, for us?
Antoine Chagall.
Oh, that's good.
You actually speak better French than I do.
He speaks better French than English. I was surprised by that.
Listen, I have a
They have a lot of
Belfast
BMRisms. BMR.
At least, just imagine a French person in a place called France with me from Belfast trying to pronounce their beautiful words with a Belfast accent. By the time I try to say something in English, they can see the pain and the blood pouring from their ears, and they will convert to English. And immediately, oh no, they'll suddenly learn how to speak English, right?
I think it's interesting, but calling back about all this fascinating conversation, Miles. I'm so glad that I was invited on to join you. I'm learning so much and a lot of process. I'm going to rewatch this when we're done. Well, after Paulie's show, but you talked earlier about the connection with Bigfoot. I'm a Bigfoot guy. I started doing Bigfoot, Dogman, and Paranormal 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, or since 2018. And I find it very interesting because a lot of people talk about in the field that I'm in about Bigfoot, that they have this alien connection every time there's UFO. Not every time, but you got the orbs, UFOs, a craft, there's a Bigfoot, right? And I talked to this one man that told me that he thinks that Bigfoot, he was a flesh and blood guy for the longest time. And then he's been doing research about 35 or 40 years, and he's now convinced, and I didn't think this about this guy, that Bigfoot is also from the other worlds.
I just missed that last bit. Sorry.
Bigfoot could possibly be an otherworldly, an alien.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, what's happening is there's a lot of other beings just walking about in this world. And they're now, more and more of them are appearing in forests and places where it's natural for them to reoccur into our domain. There's a brilliant guy in Northern Ireland called Barry Fitzgerald. He did an awful lot of work, research on the Fae and how
Oh
you are
yeah.
literally
Oh my
taken by the
God.
fairies.
Yes. Yes,
Now, there's another
indeed.
lady, a brilliant lady called Josie Posey. She's fantastic, and there's an awful lot of information that more and more people are finding out about the Fae and the other beings who are
Oh God. Yeah.
just coming out of nowhere. Now, the British, one of the people I've interviewed is a guy called John Irwin with a U,
Okay.
and he was special forces way back in the 1950s, and they knew then about our ancient origins, about how we were, how humans, our lifetimes were deliberately shortened so we could go through faster reincarnation cycles and learn quicker. And the Sasquatch or those beings know when we came, and they can see us now go. So they can see
Yeah.
that our time, this time, may be up again.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind the most recent arrivals were the Chinese, and they are a little bit upset with all these bloody pyramids across China because it proves that they are not the original race there. The first dynasty, it sort of breaks their narrative when you've got auburn-haired mummies across China. And it also proves that things change, things do move on, and maybe that's what's about to happen to us now.
Yes. And I think a lot of the correlations you talked about these underground tunnels, these bases, I think that a lot of these cryptids, aliens, they are underground. A lot of people tell me that the dog man we talked about backstage, hell, I don't know how long ago it was today.
They've been
Yeah, right there. Bigfoot,
they've
dog
been
man.
seen in the forests just outside London. Between the M3 and M4 motorways, it's they have a lot of military bases. That whole corridor going going west. There are people are finding evidence of dogmen burrows, or what they hide in. See, this is where space-time density comes in, where just like a weather system, you have high pressure and low pressure, right? The weather isn't stable, it's not linear. Likewise, the way that the dimensional energy fields move between each other and change, the boundaries between that are open to people simply walking between these realms. There was a very good case in Northern Ireland where a guy's driving down the road one fine day at 11 o'clock, blue sky. And he's on the way down to a town called Newry near the Mourne Mountains. And broad daylight, he's at a T-junction about to turn right, and this being walks across the road. Very tall, very narrow race, big eyes, not a grey, it had a tail. And it walks up to him in broad daylight, looks at the car. I mean, he's as big as surprised as the guy driving the car. He's a Welsh guy called Arfon Jones. Arfon, Arfon. Kerry Cassidy's invited him to some conferences, but it's people don't realize how expensive it is to fly in to England from Northern Ireland or the Republic. The point is, this being saw his car, was very curious, and just turned its head and then just walked away through the hedge and way up across the other field.
Oh,
right. Now, what happened was, when we did the interview, Google Earth, we used Google Earth. He used Google Earth to write up his story. And at the junction where he saw and had his experience, Google Earth had a UFO in the picture.
Oh, gosh.
Now, fortunately, he saved the picture. After we did the interview, when you next went down to use Google Earth and just do that little scan about the countryside. It's all blue sky, blue sky, blue sky, and then you're doing a little pan to where this event happened, and Google Earth replaced that picture with one shot on a cloudy day because they didn't want people to see, and it's blatant: blue sky, cloudy day, blue sky. They removed the picture. So that means that area is an area where there is dimensional slippage, or what I call fluidic space. So this is all over the place. And I think there are people who can talk to these wonderful beings,
Sure.
Engage in them, and learn, because we're dangerous to them, because we shoot anything on sight.
Well, we do, but the thing about the dog man, I do think it's interdimensional being, goes from plane to plane, realm to realm. But what you talked about, this telepathy, a lot of people I've spoken with, and I did not believe this for the longest time till kind of I had an event where it was kind of proven to me, and I hate to use the word proof. I don't like the word. However, there are many people, especially if you go back to First Nations people, that telepathically communicate with this Sasquatch, who is their protector of the forest, right? And they liberates them. In fact, protects them from Dogman, who goes through and ravages their grave sites in any place in the United States, which I find the interesting correlations, because the two do not get along. But having to speak with these creatures, like some people suggest they do, is really mind-blowing. But what you're talking about today, it really pulls it together for me even more than yesterday. So thanks. Great information tonight.
Well, the important thing, I know people who can talk to trees. The trees talk back. They give information.
Oh, yeah, right.
For instance, at Farnborough is where they built Concorde and did a whole lot of things. It's also now the kinetic base for DARPA. And a brilliant researcher called, her name's just escaped me. She, I don't want to get bogged down in too much detail, but the point is that Minley Manor, this is where I took Drago. It was great fun. I was slagging Drago Reed off, this goddamn American driving a car, rental car, and we drive in the correct side of the road and all that.
Yeah.
And he's so cool. And then he let slip, I've been here 5 times. So he completely shot me down in flames. But in order to show him Minley Manor is right beside this kinetic base. And the forests, there's a lot of forests between the M3 and M4, and this is where people see the dogmen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she was able to, my friend Miriam, who's she's another empathic person, was able to empath and talk with the trees. And they'd seen the ETs land years ago, and they were interfacing with the military at the base. So this is one of the problems is that we'll have a particular case like Rendlesham Forest UFO events, right? That was a clear example of SSP.
Yes, I've got documents to prove that.
Yeah.
Yes,
and there was a major landing 1977 at the same place, but nobody wants to see that because Americans didn't see it, so it didn't exist. I'm not joking on that.
I know.
The British local investigators have been severely sidelined, including the woman when she was obviously a very young child. We saw the Capel Green landing, and she turns up at these meetings there. Oh, just because she saw it. Oh, well, we don't want to hear from you. The UFO community are as bad as English heritage, trying to retain a particular narrative.
Oh, yeah.
The point is, just because one bunch of aliens landed in this place in 1962 or something, doesn't mean they're still there.
Of course not.
Maybe other people have arrived, Maybe other people have gone. And this is the trouble about the mindset of the UFO community. And also, as a brilliant researcher called Steve Mira, and he's done a huge amount of
Steve's been on a couple times.
He's absolutely fantastic. And one of the big things he did, he managed to desegregate all of the different subjects because they all affect each other. These subjects shouldn't, by viewing them only in isolation, we don't get a lot of what's available.
So true.
And that's very important to de-isolate these things by keeping one thing over there and one thing over there. You don't get and of course they don't want us to do that. They don't want us to get the information.
Nope, they sure don't. And you're right about that, Miles. You are so very true. I agree. And Steve is great. And then he's been on a few times, and it's just some profound. I love the way that he breaks it down, because it shouldn't all be segregated like this. It shouldn't be isolated. I do think that there's a meeting point, definitely.
Absolutely. And being able to isolate, the person I was on air with just before you rudely interrupted me for God.
That other blonde, yeah.
Oh, God, that blonde.
A lot of the people I've actually talked to or personally experienced, a lot of us in pirate radio, are what I call bounce backs. In other words, their number was up, but it wasn't, so they were sent back. Right? Now, the key to it was her ability to see things from different points of view at a very young age and sort it all out, and it all makes sense. If you look at things from different perspectives, you get a better view of what's going on. And if you can do that yourself, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Huge.
That's huge. That's what it is. Out of my head, Rob. Jeez.
Yeah, it is huge. Miles, all this stuff is connected, right? Everything, in my opinion. It's always been since the beginning of time. And it's too bad that people don't get that, right? All these closed-minded people.
I have a huge criticism of ufology.
Yeah.
And I've invented a new word. And because I'm just dark journalist.
I like DJ.
I've just forgotten it. My brain thinks so fast. The ideas just fly.
You're like a human.
Anyway, Joseph Farrell, he's actually officially adopted my word. It's my word. I copyrighted that word. I've got lawsuits going out to everybody about using that word that I've created myself personally, myself.
What word is it?
Yes, what's the word, please?
And I am slightly over-egging the pudding because some people get into hissy fits and tantrums if you use certain phraseologies. I'm very, very critical of the UFO community, and I just add an extra O in there.
I do too. UFO foolology. Yeah, that's what I say. Nobody wants to...
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Miles. You got it before me, huh?
Of course, I did it before you. For God's sake.
I thought I coined that term.
Well, really. I picked up a really good UFO magazine, and it was color. It was very well produced. It was a fantastic magazine, and I was fingering through it, and then I actually looked at the date. It was 1972 or something.
Oh man, I was going to say that.
And you couldn't tell the difference between what they're saying now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well,
Same
the difference
thing.
today is if you pick up a magazine today, you spend $20 and it's all advertising and there's one article. Back in '72, at least there was articles within the magazine.
Oh, yeah, but that's when people had to do things on a freaking typewriter, and they had to spend time doing it.
Not copy and paste like these college kids do today.
I learned how to type on a Remington typewriter.
I remember the typewriter.
Nobody will know what that
I remember
means.
the typewriter. Yeah.
If you want to make a copy, you had to type through a wax type Gestetner.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So bad. The whiteout, then get out the whiteout. Oh God.
The whole way through.
And when I was in college, if you had 2 whiteouts in your term paper, they gave you a D because we were allowed 1. Yeah, and I don't care if it was A work.
Well, that's just stupid.
He's had such a
That's
hard
university.
life.
I know.
That is the university.
You should have protested that, Rob. What were you thinking?
No, I got smart. I paid girls, blondes, to type my papers.
Yeah, but
See, we're useful, Miles. Blondes are useful, at least.
Yeah,
Listen, by the way, I resemble that comment because I love blonde.
Yeah, I love that.
And Actually, I have a really good friend. She's Selena, and she's stunning. She's absolutely fantastic. I think she's from the West Indies, right? She's not a blonde, okay? The point of this story is okay. So, she turned up at my conference. She's a brilliant woman. She's absolutely fantastic. And she used to run a really good restaurant in Manchester. Fantastic. And then the in-laws took it over. So she said, "Feck this," and away she went. She actually phoned me when I was coming back from this important conference. I was on the train, minding my own business. I half asleep. She phoned up and she said, "Miles, do you have any blonde hair dye on you?" Now,
She evading the police?
I was going to London on a space expo in industry thing, and I forgot the bloody blonde hair dye. Why didn't I? The first thing, don't you get up in the morning and you go, oh, me blonde hair dye just in case, right?
No.
So, this is a kind of long-winded, stupid joke that I do, right? So anyway, she was doing this. So I would say, "Why do you need? I don't have any blonde hair dye on me, Selena." And she's very nice, Selena, very good, especially with her long legs and black boots and fashionable attire. By the way, she drives 18-wheelers. Don't you mess with her when she's driving an 18-wheeler. Mother, the biggest truck she can drive, she's driving them. And she can park them half a centimeter perfect down a loading bay. But she can't park in a parking lot. Takes about 3 slots, right? Anyway, the point is she wanted to get the blonde hair dye, but she needed to take her beautiful long hair extensions, magnificent, right? And dye it blonde, because this is too painful, this joke. It's not good. This was a Wednesday, and she thought it was Thursday, and the conference was happening.
Oh, jeez.
See, that was painful.
What happened?
It's terrible, Coley. It's terrible.
She wanted to dye her hair blonde,
Yeah.
so she could have a blonde moment, because she got the wrong day.
Oh, Miles.
That's almost like your fingernail.
Really.
Yes, stretch my hip again. Yes, hard. I'm stretching my hip.
Oh, Miles, that was good. And if it just flew right over my head. Oh, man.
Edmund Joyce is there as well, author of Flying Saucer Review.
What did you call it? The interdimensional. Well, I thought that was Johnny Enoch's vehicle there.
Well, Johnny Enoch was in this. This is the sort of thing you go to these trade shows to get. Stupid things like this is the friction bearings on this. This could,
the fidget spinner.
Yeah,
it's good for that's good for your ADHD, Miles.
Oh. You need one of those original ones where you have it has to be an enormously expensive structure to hold 9 balls on strings.
Oh, one of the clickers?
And you get one of them. Boom.
That's physics right there. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Yes.
Actually, my hair thing's getting worse. It's getting sort of.
We just said you'd look like Back to the Future. You came here in your DeLorean.
Done that joke. I've got 3 Not electric either. Not electric, okay?
Can you tell him about last night? So Miles, I called him, and he's like, I'm driving to London on the highway. You said you were going to tell this story anyway. 70 miles per hour. You got to show him what you got.
70 miles an hour, but I don't necessarily always stick to it.
Driving 2 knees or 1 knee.
Yeah, well, you've got 2 knees. Why do you need 2 knees to hold a bloody steering wheel? On the phone, in front of all the cameras flashing and getting you done for.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did this off air.
We'll show them here.
I was picking up this particular type of trolley, which has got 3 wheels on a single axle, and it's designed. That's 6 feet tall, that cat.
You had to have it after you saw it.
You had to have it because
Gotta have it.
this thing takes 4 people to lift, right? Okay. Now the reason for it is this is engineering here. This is an engine. Is because it's got three wheels, and that will go upstairs. It will also go downstairs. But lifting that cat takes 4 people. It's a pussy cat, 6 feet tall, and it weighs an immeasurable amount of. There it is. Go, smart view. That is 6 feet tall, that cat, and it's going to go on exhibition in a shop in Devizes where they do wood carving and stuff. That there is solid teak. And you see that
Ooh, I like that.
blonde hair?
Yeah,
Blonde hair and how low it goes.
I do.
Right?
First thing I noticed.
See that blonde fringe?
Oh, that's what you had to have, wasn't it, Miles? That blonde hair, huh?
I had a girlfriend. I know that's a bit of a shock that I would have a
Yeah,
girlfriend.
I thought so, but yeah, I wasn't going to say anything.
But she had a blonde. She was Norwegian. She was absolutely fantastic. Loved her. Absolutely loved her. But she had a blonde fringe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the bang?
She hated that cat. She said, take that thing and put it outside and burn it. She said that. She did. She
Oh
said
my
that.
gosh.
And
Did
the
she give
cat
him
was
matches?
silly.
I just said, I
Yeah.
don't blame her.
That
It's probably,
cat
you're not
used
bringing
to-
that in here, Miles.
You're not bringing that cat in here. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Miles, really briefly, they're counting in chat. They just said Miles has mentioned his 6th girlfriend already. Yeah, good job.
Oh, I bet we
6.
could go on and on. Yeah.
Probably keep going on. I know you have
count.
more than 6. That's a dashing.
And then
Anyway,
you reunited with one not too long ago, I saw.
The point is, the only way, that was the last thing that came out of my house in London when I moved out of London. And all the removal people all had their picture taken beside it. And normally it used to sit beside the 50-inch TV downstairs, right?
Yeah.
The trouble is, when you're watching the telly, you got this cat looking at you. It's a massive TV, and this cat sitting beside it, and you're looking up at her, always looking up. So my mates came the whole way from Northern Ireland to come down to see me in London, England, which is just southwest of Belfast by about 400 or 500 miles, right? So the first thing I did was get all 4 of them. Look, could you take that cat and put it upstairs at the corner where the stairs turn? It's the only place in the house. So it's not sitting beside the telly, right?
Right.
So so 4 of them managed to lift this thing up. You can't grab it in one go. See, so of course I tell this story to my people in my pub because the 2 bar ladies in my pub were 6'2" and 6'3". You don't argue with them. Okay, don't argue. But they were into pussycats. They really love pussycats. So anyway, cutting a long story short, we ended up putting this cat in the pub. So of course I tell people it takes 4 people to lift this. Nobody can lift this cat. It's so heavy. It takes 4 people. Right?
Yeah.
So cutting a very long story short, that cat would occasionally disappear at the end of the night.
Where'd it go?
Guess where it went? Look, it's a busy cat. Lots of beer. So, I mean, it ends up in the gents toilet.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Of course.
But the point is, it was sitting on the gents toilet.
Well, beer muscles? People have beer muscles. That's all I'm going to say.
It is. I don't want to be too discreet or too indiscreet here, but usually there's only one person in a fucking toilet, right? One. The user. This cat is sitting on the bloody thing, right? At the end of the night, the landlord's standing there by himself, nobody else. So he has to put it back to where it was. But it takes 4 people to lift. So the mystery is, how did one person get that onto the jacksie? And then he had to lift this thing off by himself, because you can't get more than 2 people in it. Yeah.
Ooh, did you try it?
He had a bloody hernia when he was doing this.
Yeah, for sure. I bet he did. Oh my God.
Anyway, that's the story of the cat, and it's good fun.
It's good fun.
I was walking down the street one day in London, West London, where I lived, near Sky Television. I just got a new credit card. Ooh, new credrit card.
You just spoke my language, Miles. Remember that women's lib stuff that went out the window?
I'm walking down the street, and this hot blonde winks at me.
At the side one.
So I go into the shop, and then this hot blonde's just standing there. It's the cat. She winked at me.
Number 7.
So
Yes.
I bought that cat. Now this is 20 years ago. I've been here 50. I think it's 20 years ago. That cat. Now that cost me £500. That cat. Now that's 500.
We don't know what that is in American dollar.
It's 1,022 American.
And it's made of solid teak. That cat is directly responsible for global warming and the tilt of the magnetic poles. So I reckon that cat's worth about 25,000.
Yeah, probably now. It's easily.
And with our current prime minister, you can probably bump that up to shekels at this rate.
Oh yeah, probably.
We'll all be spending shekels, Iranian shekels.
Shekels.
Did any of you guys?
Yeah.
Did any of you guys fall for the Iraqi dinars scam? You didn't?
I didn't.
They were always going to revalue the Iraqi dinars because the Americans had gone in and all that sort of stuff. So it was a whole thing. These beautiful Iraqi dinars, immaculate. It's like Reichstag marks. These ornate, like 500 million marks to before this little man came in and sorted it all out. Don't use that word. You're not allowed to use that word.
Little man, yeah, of course.
The little man. Anyway, I bought a load of these dinars, and they were immaculate. They're so artistically created and beautifully made. Somebody took 2 of them and put them up and framed them and everything else. The frame was worth more than the dinars. So if somebody tried to sell you some Iranian dinars or whatever it is, or zings or dims, anyway, if you got all your stuff on Bitcoin, no, don't talk about that.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Finally, are we getting near the finally things?
Yeah, no. We are getting there. They want to know if you know Phil Schneider.
No, but what he was talking about, very not good.
No.
He's not.
So
he's,
you think
Not David Morton.
you believe he was assassinated? Let's get to the end of it. He was assassinated by the government.
They were all assassinated. A lot of good people have been taken out, and they tried taking out my webmaster last week with a clock. There's quite a few, but don't want to end on this.
Right.
We are the front line. Oh, God help us. We are the front line, and actually, if nobody else is going to get people woken up and motivated and work the problem. And that's a line from Apollo 13, for Christ's sake.
Never.
You know one of the worst things about Apollo 13, the movie?
The actors.
that is funny.
Well, that's it. He knows. There's no point me talking about it. They talk about the liftoff. This really annoys me. This really annoys me. The liftoff. They said, "Oh, we got the launch so well. We did it well. Even NASA's so impressed." No, you didn't. You got the swing arm sequence fucking, oh dear, wrong.
That was mild.
You got the swing arms retracting from the top. The swing arms retracted at T-minus 30 seconds, swing arms 1 and 2. They retracted instantly, and then the rest swung back all at the same time. I mean, How can you get that detail so wrong, Apollo 13, Mr. Howard, producer, director, stickler for detail?
Yeah.
That's it. I can't handle it anymore.
And that's a whole
These
other
YouTube
show.
videos, it's got people saying, "Oh, we did it so well."
Hey, that's a whole other show about the
Warner
moon
von
landing.
Braun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The O-rings.
Why was the head of NASA a plasma physicist?
That's a good question.
Well,
That's
yeah.
fair enough.
And of course, NASA is really Nazi NASA.
Well,
There's a brilliant British TV film in black and white, starring a comedy, a serious but also sometimes he do comedy actor called Kenneth Moore, and it's about the British space program,
oh.
right? And how the British were going to send a man to the moon, right? Now, hello, whistle blow time. You got to watch these old movies from the 50s and 60s all the time. It's a bit like Timothy, not Timothy Good, but God rest his cotton socks. Nick Pope, when he sends you a letter saying that UFOs are of no defense significance, he's telling you something. People, watch, see what they're telling you. They are talking to you effectively with a gun to their head.
Yes.
They can't tell you help, otherwise they get shot. They've got to say something to you
Yeah.
and not get shot. So when Nick Pope says UFOs are not of no defense significance, think the problem through. It's because they're fully engaged with the aliens, the ETs. That psychic guy that met me in 1994, he was sent by his handler in Belfast with a camera to the Irish coast. He's told when to go, what day, and all that sort of stuff. He turned up there, and there's a whole display of ET craft flying around. He takes loads of pictures. So he can see the ET craft, and he's got pictures of them. He develops the pictures. He can see they're verified. He hands them to his handler, and they say, yeah, that's right, that's right. And then his handler keeps the pictures. So he is absolutely aware
Blackmail.
that they have the British, the authorities are completely in bed with the ETs.
The name of the game is blackmail these days, Miles. Blackmail.
Only these days?
No, it's been going on for a while, but I've seen it in the community among the people. They're blackmailing one another. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Or they're bumping you off. So anyway, so he knew if there was some kind of UFO thing happening, he'd just pick up the phone, blah, 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 it's one of ours. Or it's not one of ours. In a matter of minutes. So we are being played.
Yes, we are.
We've been played for
So
eons.
it's up to us and up to people like you. It's up to people like you, and we know where you live. I've got to do it. Point the finger at the camera.
I'm very easy to find. I have a pirate ship.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I have a UFO. Yeah.
I don't know if you got that one. He doesn't watch my show, but he'll get it eventually.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Weren't you listening to the booming? You didn't even complain about the music this time. I was surprised.
Oh, wow, yeah. He was backstage. We didn't see his face.
So you compiled the music.
Rob
The
did.
opener. We call in television. We call it the opener.
Yeah, the opener.
Yeah,
Yeah. Rob made it.
That's very important. There was a David Icke recruitment thing in London. Bit of whistleblow here, right? David Icke recruitment thing, because they were looking for people who were going to work on the People's Voice, which is the brilliant TV station started 2013 or 14 David was donated with public funding over 300,000 pounds, and he set up. So wanted to get some staff. So what happened was these guys walked into the recruitment thing, and they were wearing freshly, just off the printing press, hats with "Obey."
Oh, you caught that then, yeah.
Yeah. So that
telling.
was an intelligence operation, having a laugh.
Yes, subliminal dissemination.
Why was I thinking Obey was the stuff that you sprinkle on seafood? That went over my head. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, you're joking, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
God.
Oh,
I had
for a second.
I had to pretend I was blind.
The place to get the best
Yes.
Rebel wear is Rebel Not Taken.
Oh, wow. Like
Is that your
Rebel
line,
Not
Miles? I'll buy
What?
one. I like that. I love that.
Rebel
Yeah.
Not Taken is the brand. And that's when there was a revolution here in England against Parliament. And they captured all the rebels. And they were hung, drawn, and quartered and hung in bits on the road into London. However, Bob Osborne, who's the guy who you go through if you want to talk to James Casbolt, who needs to heal, needs to think. But anyway, so the point is, officially, after they hung, drawn, and quartered everybody and they didn't want to do it again or whatever it is, they did capture quite a few people. And the official title legally is Rebel Not Taken. And then you were dispatched to live in Australia. For God's sake, being hung and drawn and quartered is better than
You guys had Guy Fawkes, too. I mean, like the whole,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the website. And Bob Osborne's writing his book about why the Germans were down there in Cornwall, why Aleister Crowley did all those rituals, and how that's connected with Montauk and the ley lines, and how the Germans were really better at dealing with the energies of the earth with the ley line system, and why the Fabian agenda and the whole hippie movement, we're thinking the hippie movement was 1960s. It goes back into the 1800s. And how the Fabian technocratic agenda is the one we've got to sort. So I'm putting
I
my
like
hat
that.
on.
See, Miles, that's what I like about you. You're a rebel. You're a rebel.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
And this is Commander with a K, and that's the James Casbolt one. And I have a couple of these books left, signed. See, this is signed.
Oh, they're already pre-signed? I want one.
So this is for me.
That's Miles.
Right. And there's a few of these, and you get the CD for 10 quid.
10 quid.
Plus
12,
How do we get signed ones from James?
12.95 American.
I've got about 6 left. Otherwise, I think that this is James's first proper book.
Oh, very nice.
And
Can you scratch out Miles on one of them and write Rob? You got 6 of them.
so if anybody wants to get hold of me and send me postage plus that's a tenner, and I'll post it to them with his CD in it, because he's putting the lyrics into the CDs.
I'll have to get that.
Personally, it's not the sort of music I would play.
Would we like it here?
You would like it, yeah.
Sold and sold.
But he's got a professional studio. He's really getting a lot of production behind it.
Wow, good for him. He's come a long way. That's awesome.
Rap and genre, and he's getting help on that. And best of luck to him. I hope he's able to get his life sorted out after all that.
Yeah, me too. That'd be good. Good. Well, Miles,
That's just me being sensible. It ruins my image.
You deal with a lot of the SSP and all of the issues that come with it. I mean, that's got to be a little hard. I was a therapist for how many years, and I know how it weird and teared on me. I can't imagine some of the work that you do, and I see that you do a lot of that support work. So, bravo to you. Hats off.
Like to. This is the whole point about. I have a series called TIs, but it's target individuals. The last thing you want to call yourself. Okay, I'm being sensible here, but it's got to put this hat on. And the last thing you want to say is draw attention to yourself as a target.
Yeah. Yes.
The person who I was talking to, she was explained when this is why I'm wearing this shirt. Bad joke, we said it too many times. Is that you can sort it out yourself? You become an empowered individual.
Empowered, yes, and they don't like that.
You can't fall victim to it.
And guess what? YouTube banned a guy who was really emotional and swearing or whatever, but he was saying, "I've become an empowered individual," and YouTube didn't like it and took it down.
Oh boy.
I can see why John Whitberg's getting a bit annoyed about YouTube, but let's not. Let's put it this way: it's one of the only few things we've got. The basic budget, basistv.com.
Phil Graham's coming out with one. Oh, there we go.
basistv.org, and then the media is uploaded to basistv.com. That's a subscription. It's I think it's about $5 or something. However, if you wish to give me more money, like I need 6 TV cameras because
of course
the
you
colorimetry, the other ones need changed. And that's it. So there's
for
going to
every
be
one of those dates.
International 2026 is the 19th, 20th, and 21st of June, New Bouverie Hall. Tickets will be on sale momentarily.
That's awesome. I'm going to drop the links in chat. I have them all. If you guys want to go to the description, they're all in there, Miles. For your links.
Got the website back up and running. Thomas Mikey Jensen has worked very hard to get through this stroke that he had 2 weeks ago, and he's recovering. I mean, we're dealing with nasty pieces of work here.
Yeah, they don't stop. They do not stop once they got you. They don't. I mean, it's not easy to get all that to be stopped. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, we're going to be in for a kick in at this rate, so and I'm not going to say much more. It's very important that you do not initiate any hostile energies. You've got to just let them do it, and you reap your rewards.
Okay, yeah, I like that. As long as we don't initiate the hostile environment, we reap our rewards.
You must not go on a negative.
Ooh, that's a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm one of those individuals where I'm like, all right, let's grab the torches and the pitchforks. We're going. It's like
rebel with a cause.
Well, that's it. No, but that's a legal term. This term is a legal term. You have been declared by the judge as a rebel, not taken. Bog off to Australia or Ausland or someplace.
Oh, spiritual ascension. He didn't mean that.
Oh boy.
We got the thunder down under in chat. They're gonna come for you, Miles.
Well, listen. There's nothing wrong with Australia. It's full of poisonous insects, poisonous spiders.
Oh no.
No wonder those kangaroos are the way they are. Super underground alien bases with the worst, whatever it is, Pine Gap or whatever it is. But the other problem is it's full of bloody Australians, for Christ's sake.
Spiritual Ascension said she wished you lived in Ausland.
Well, listen, Sky TV started with a load of Australians in it, and it wouldn't have got on the air if it hadn't been for a striking crew at the TVAM. And Murdoch's, it was a brilliant thing. It was fantastic at those days. We were good. We had 2 companies losing 10 million, 15 million a week, and then British Satellite Broadcasting and Sky TV losing 15 million a week. So we rationalized the situation and combined the letters into B, Sky B. So we were only losing 10 million a week. And that was just my salary.
Oh, that was all it was. The heck with it.
All good fun. And the Australians there was brilliant. It was great fun.
I hope they had a drink on you on that one.
Anderson had some beer.
Beer.
Yes. Yeah. Fought some kangaroos.
That's your boat.
Yes. So, Miles, you've absolutely been fantastic. I every time you come on, I literally enjoy it from the moment you enter the studio to the moment that we have like.
Yes, and he entered 40 minutes earlier.
Listen, you've got to get this. You've got to do a chroma key thing on this shirt. I cannot possibly have the way it's.
I thought you just had one shirt. I wasn't sure, but
Gosh.
that's good to know. I thought maybe you didn't stay at your house. You know, maybe you wore that the night before or something. I thought it's like your lucky shirt.
Yeah, you rolled in.
EMR, I don't like the way this conversation's going.
Well, you got it late last night with that hot blonde. Your ninth you've mentioned.
Listen, if I'm going to have a hissy fit and tantrum, I'm going to have a than any of you people. I've got 2 excuses, 3 excuses. I'm Aries, I've got red hair, but I'm not a ginger minger. And I'm from Belfast, okay? That's me talking to you.
Oh boy, I like that. Oh god, I'm not
Have we
going
insulted enough minorities here this evening?
I like the ginger. I like that. Oh my god, I can see
Little ginger spice over there. I didn't know that, Miles.
Yeah, jeez.
What was he saying? You can't initiate any of that. Yeah, that aggression. You got to tame it down, Miles.
You
Good
don't
God.
no, that's not. That's very serious. Very serious there, children.
Well, you're Irish though, isn't it? A little ginger and the Irish. I'm part Irish.
Not fucking ginger.
I got Irish.
Blonde. And in Belfast, we talk to you with our teeth closed. So there's more than this. Okay, you get this.
It definitely has more impact to it. I get that. I do that once in a while too. So I loved it, Miles. I would love you there, to have you back on. I mean, whenever you regain your sanity from being here. I mean, we absolutely love you here.
It was Johnny Enoch on the phone.
Oh, we should. Yeah. No, I'm touching base with him afterwards. He can only make so many excuses. And then he calls. I'm like, I try to explain. We're in America, and it's a different time. You tell him I'm coming for him. Yeah.
They were all over him. And then when I said about this, British Airways lost all their luggage. In other words, the CIA put them on a different plane.
Oh yeah.
They've done that. They'll do that to people. They did it to me. How petty.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm going to bomb the Panama Canal. We're going to take regime change. What are you doing today? Oh, I'm changing somebody's air ticket so they don't get their luggage.
No, that reminds me really quickly.
I worked for an airline. I know how this works.
This reminds me really quickly. Long story short, I was going through TSA. I was at a conference, a Bigfoot conference, and I brought
a lighter.
I brought home a Bigfoot cast, and I put it in my carry-on. I put it on the belt, and it went down the belt, and my carry-on went the wrong way. Flag TSA. Something's inside it. They go inside it. They open it up, and in between my clothes was the Bigfoot cast. They said, "What's this?" And I said, I made the mistake of saying, "Oh,
would you trust this man if he made a mistake?" No way.
And I made this mistake and said, "Oh, that's a brick of cocaine baked inside."
Oh Lord,
a
you did
Bigfoot
not.
I did. 20 people came over, started talking Bigfoot. It's a true story. True story.
I know. I worked for an airline. I know how this works.
And they realized I was, being an a-hole about it, just joking, which was a stupid mistake. I'll never, ever, ever do it again. But I ended up making like 3 friends and telling some Bigfoot stories, and I missed my flight home, of course. I spent 17 hours going home. Boom! Perfect ending.
There are times you crack a joke, and don't crack a joke. Oh, dear.
Crack a joke. Oh.
Oh, and speaking of cracking, speaking of cracking, that very same Bigfoot cast fell off of my ledge and busted.
I'm trying to see if I can hold this.
Miles has worse ADHD than I do, I think. I love it. Rob, we're going to applaud you for that. We are going to applaud you.
Has he been...
Oh, he's getting it. Oh, you an actual cast. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
It's not his either. I'm taking it. Where'd you get that from?
He made it in a set.
I think so, yeah.
He was transporting drugs in it.
Yeah, I made the joke I was transporting drugs in it like an idiot, and I got
No.
but yeah, whatever. They knew it wasn't coke, obviously.
Well, I think to be fair, those gentlemen have and ladies are very, very important people, and they need to have a great deal of important work because they're very important. And I think any kind of levity about this thing is just not acceptable.
No.
Not acceptable at all. You know what would come through if somebody had like a really nasty customer come to the line? You know what we do to their bags, Miles? Those tags, they would be off, and we know they'd be stuck in Chicago, going around that carousel for years to come.
Not Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
Anywhere else but Chicago.
Oh gosh.
That's the worst place to fly.
Chicago. No R. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to go.
Ladies and gentlemen. So, Miles, we want to thank you again. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with? We always ask that before you leave.
We are the front line. We've got to make this thing work, and don't expect somebody else or the cavalry or Love of Light to sort it. We've got to fix this, and we've got to fix it with extreme caution and succeed.
Yes, we do.
Nice. I like that.
We do. Thank you, Miles. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Miles.
you. Yes, and we'll talk to you very soon. Isn't Miles excellent?
It was excellent.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I will say for everyone listening, Coley and I have done about 7, 8 unhinged. Next to James, James Young was awesome.
Oh, you're kind of muffled.
Oh, can you hear me now?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It was one of our best unhinged we ever did.
Yeah, we got some good ones coming. Yeah, but Miles is
We've done some
fantastic.
great ones. We've done about 7 or 8. Miles was great. James was great. The two that I remember is my best. This one was fantastic.
I love it. Yeah, there's nothing like Miles when he comes in. I was like, he's fantastic. If you guys could, we should ask if we can record behind the scenes so people can see.
You make a great blooper reel.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, I know. I've seen this with Miles before, and then somebody was talking about it. I'm like, oh gosh, it's fantastic. It is fantastic. So next time I'll just tell him to have some of that caffeine, but it's almost better when he doesn't have the caffeine first. I'm like,
Hey, everybody
I gotta eat
listening, everyone listening, we watched him like drink a pot of coffee.
he ran back for more, but it was instant, so he wasn't very happy about that.
Yeah, I agree with him on that. Who drinks instant?
No, yeah, well, it worked though for him, Rob. It worked.
As long as it worked, that's all we needed. Because you grumpy.
Oh my God, he's fantastic.
What the hell are we getting into at this time?
He's fantastic.
Yeah, it ended up being a fantastic guy. And there's so much more that he knows. And I'm going to have to rewatch this because I thought it was just a great show.
Yes. So welcome over to the UFO world. So
Yeah, there we go. That's what we're slowly doing with our little merger.
Yeah, no, it's great. So this is excellent. Do you have anything coming up that you wanted to let the audience know about?
Boy, my next thing coming up is Tuesday night. I have Heather Mosier coming on with the producer for Small Town Monsters, which I was featured in the movie 2 months ago. Yes, being Mars in a movie. Yeah. And we're going to talk about cryptids, and we're talking about the Bell Witch and a few other cool things on that show.
Very cool.
Tuesday night at 9:00. That's after that. I don't know what's going on.
Awesome. Wait,
Yeah.
what do you mean you don't know what's going on?
For Thursday, it's
Oh,
Saturday,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
I thought you were booked like months and months. You just probably don't have your schedule.
I
in
am
front of you.
not. I don't have the schedule. No, I'm not. I'm not booked at all. I've fallen behind because somebody else has been, helping me do some things.
Are you referring to me?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, on that note, I will be back tomorrow night, Mystical Monday, at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then Rob will be Tuesday. So until then, thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. I'm Coley, also known as Coley UFO. That is Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. So if you have not gotten over, or you've not hit that like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment, the whole 9 yards, please do so. We appreciate each and every one of you for watching. And Rob, what would you like to leave the audience with tonight? We're going to go out on your song tonight.
Oh yeah, well, what we're going to do? Yeah, my thing is, I love everybody that comes in and watches our shows. You know, celebrate the collaborations. We will be doing this for a little while. Got great content. Subscribe to SNX BMR. Go check out Paranormal Normal Paul. I think in 20 minutes.
Yes,
Go
Paranormal
check out Paul. But yeah, you know, the truth is,
and his
out
naughty
there.
blue shorts.
The
Yeah,
naughty blue shorts. Just the thing is, this is the environment to come into to get knowledge and learn. We all learn on a daily basis, and there's no reason for anybody to bicker and bitch back and forth because that's not the place for it, right? And that's what we do.
absolutely. Well said. Well said. And on that note, we're going out on the BMR song. So here we go.
Very nice.
Yeah. Thank
Bigfoot, Michigan raw. Bigfoot, Michigan raw. Yeah, set sail, clock the beat. From Michigan waters where the mysteries call. BMR roll strong, answer in the hall. Heard that raw echo, midsummer light so bright. Turn raw, experience the fuel for the fight. YouTube channel live, thousands riding the wave. Armor roll crew, knowledge we crave. Author of truth to cryptid encounter series. I'm witness tales, no room for theories. Show with the fire, experience the bold. Bigfoot, Michigan rhyme, stories unfold. Pirate ship rolling, crew standing tall. Sailing through shadows, answering the call. Of the unknown sin. Who's leading the pirate trade? Bigfoot, Michigan raw. BMR. Crew shouting dog, feel the pirate fire. Join the voyage, raise it higher. Bigfoot, Michigan raw. Bristol, stand clear. Bigfoot, Michigan raw. Shout it out loud. Who's born, just a real in the mix. Email pouring, witnesses fixed. Cryptids and strangeness. Lights in the sky, high strangeness. Realms,